Good day to each and everyone. I'm Marijoy Anyos Makabodbod, and for today's video, I will be demonstrating each type of listening: discriminative listening, comprehensive listening, informational listening, critical listening, therapeutic listening, appreciative listening, and last is report listening. Most people, most of the time, take listening for granted. It's something that just happens. It is only when you stop to think about listening and what it entails you to begin to realize that listening is, in fact, an important skill that needs to be nurtured and developed. Listening is perhaps the most important of all interpersonal skills, and skills you need has many pages devoted to the subject. See listening skills for an introduction. Listening is a key component of effective communication skills. Without listening, you can't understand what other people are really trying to say. It's easy to get something wrong and make assumptions. On the other hand, when you actively listen, you can fully communicate with someone else. Listening is the most important part of communication. That's because it allows you to come up with a substantial and meaningful response. So, there are several types of listening. You can develop both at home and at work. Let's explore 7 of these types of listening, why they matter, and what they can look like. Let's find out. Discriminative listening. Discriminative listening is first developed at a very early age, perhaps even before birth, in the womb. This is the most basic form of listening and does not involve the understanding of the meaning of words or phrases, but merely the different sounds that are produced. In early childhood, for example, a distinction is made between the sounds of the voices of the parents. The voice of the father sounds different to that of the mother. Discriminative listening develops through childhood and into adulthood. As we grow older and develop and gain more life experience, our ability to distinguish between different sounds is improved. Not only can we recognize different voices, but we also develop the ability to recognize subtle differences in the way that sounds are made. This is fundamental to ultimately understanding what these sounds mean. Differences include many subtitles, recognizing foreign language, distinguishing between regional accents and clues to the emotions and feelings of the speaker. Being able to distinguish the subtleties of sound made by somebody who is happy or sad, angry or stressed, for example, ultimately adds value to what is actually being said and, of course, does aid comprehension. When discriminative listening skills are combined with visual stimuli, the resulting ability to listen to body language enables us to begin to understand the speaker more fully. For example, recognizing somebody is sad despite what they are saying or how they are saying it. Example: imagine yourself surrounded by people who are speaking a language that you cannot understand. Perhaps passing through an airport is in another country. You can probably distinguish between different voices, male and female, young and old, and also gain some understanding about what is going on around you based on the tone of voice, mannerisms, and body language of the other people. You are not understanding what is being said, but using discriminative listening to gain some level of comprehension of your surroundings. Comprehensive listening. It involves understanding the message or messages that are being communicated. Like discriminative listening, Comprehensive listening is fundamental to all listening subtypes. In order to be able to use comprehensive listening and therefore gain understanding, the listener first needs appropriate vocabulary and language skills. Using overly complicated language or technical jargon, therefore, can be a barrier to comprehensive listening. Comprehensive listening is further complicated by the fact that two different people listening to the same thing may understand the message in two different ways. This problem can be multiplied in a group setting, like a classroom or business meeting, where numerous different meanings can be derived from what has been said. Comprehensive listening is complemented by sub-messages from nonverbal communication, such as the tone of voice, gestures, and other body language. These nonverbal signals can greatly aid communication and comprehension, but can also confuse and potentially lead to misunderstanding. In many listening situations, it is vital to seek clarification and use skills such as reflection, aid, comprehension. Discriminative and comprehensive listening are prerequisites for specific listening types. Listening types can be defined by the goal of the listening. Informational listening. Whenever you listen to learn something, you are engaged in informational listening. This is true in many day-to-day situations. In education and at work, when you listen to the news, watch a documentary, when a friend tells you a recipe, or when you are talked through a technical problem with a computer. There are many other examples of informational listening too. Although all types of listening are active, they require concentration and a conscious effort to understand. Informational listening is less active than many of the other types of listening. When we're listening to learn or be instructed, we are taking in new information and facts. We are not criticizing or analyzing. Informational listening, especially in formal settings like in work meetings or while in education, is often accompanied by note taking, a way of recording key information so that it can be reviewed later. Some examples of informational listening include work training, self paced learning at home or at work, listening to an educational ebook, coaching. When you know how to use informational listening, you empower yourself to become a better learner. By actively learning and improving yourself, you can become a more valuable asset in your place at work. You can also feel more fulfilled when you pursue your passions and learn something new at home. Critical listening. We can be said to be engaged in critical listening when the goal is to evaluate or scrutinize what is being said. Critical listening is a much more active behavior than informational listening and usually involves some sort of problem solving or decision making. Critical listening is to critical reading. Both involve analysis of the information being received and alignment with what we already know or believe. Whereas informational listening may be mostly concerned with receiving facts and or new information, critical listening is about analyzing opinion and making a judgment. When the word critical is used to describe listening, reading, or thinking, it does not necessarily mean that you are claiming that the information you are listening to is somehow faulty or flawed. Rather, critical listening means engaging in what you are listening to by asking yourself questions such as, what is the speaker trying to say? Or what is the main argument being presented? How does what I'm hearing differ from my beliefs, knowledge, or opinion. Critical listening, therefore, fundamental to true learning, many day-to-day decisions that we make are based on some form of critical analysis, whether it be critical listening, reading, or thought. Our opinions, values, and beliefs are based on our ability to process information and formulate our own feelings about the world around us, as well as weigh up the pros and cons to make an informed decisions. It is often important when listening critically to have an open mind and not be biased by stereotypes or preconceived ideas. By doing this, you will become a better listener and broaden your knowledge and perception of other people and your relationships. Therapeutic or empathic listening. Empathic listening involves attempting to understand the feeling and emotions of the speaker, to put yourself into the speaker's shoes and share their thoughts. Empathy is a way of deeply connecting with another person, and therapeutic or empathic listening can be particularly challenging. Empathy is not the same as sympathy. It involves more than being compassionate or feeling sorry for somebody else. It involves a deeper connection, a realization and understanding of another person's point of view. Counselors, therapists, and some other professionals use therapeutic or empathic listening to understand and ultimately help their clients. This type of listening does not involve making judgments or offering advice, but gently encouraging the speaker to explain and elaborate on their feelings and emotions. Skills such as clarification and reflections are often used to help avoid misunderstandings. We are all capable of empathic listening and may practice it with friends, family, and colleagues. Showing empathy is a desirable trait in many interpersonal relationships. You may well feel more comfortable talking about your own feelings and emotions with a particular person. They are likely to be better at listening empathetically to you than others. This is often based on similar perspectives, experiences, beliefs, and values. A good friend, your spouse, a parent, or sibling, for example. Appreciative listening. Appreciative listening is a way to listening in which someone actively goes in search of certain auditory information that is person personally appreciates or likes. Someone may also practice appreciative listening if it contributes to achieving a goal or meeting a need. For example, one uses appreciative listening when listening to good music, meditation seminars, poetry, audiobooks, or a speech from a person with an excellent reputation. What specific auditory information is valued differs from person to person. Human perceptions has a lot to do with this. Some people do not like opera and find it too dramatic or complicated, while others like it. Perception can change when, for example, opera is sung in a new style. Past experiences also have a direct impact on the perception of auditory information and the way in which this is listened to. A song from childhood can evoke pleasant memories, making it more likely that listening to this will be appreciated in old age. And the last is rapport listening. When trying to build rapport with others, we can engage in a type of listening that encourages the other person to trust and like us. A salesman, for example, may make an effort to listen carefully to what you are saying as a way to promote trust and potentially make a sale. This type of listening is common in situations of negotiation. So, I do hope you learn something from this video, and thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye.